League, match week 1, the champions, Alain in goal.
Tries to cross it back to Jovic and it's in.
Chance here for Ajman, and it's gone in. Good header, and it's gone in. Wahda back in this now, and it is the substitute, Mohammed.
Shot! What a hit! What a goal!
An opportunity, and it's a wonderful goal by Bauer-Morte!
Cross, it's a beautiful cross, and it's a goal! And United FC have equalised.
What a goal! Sofiane Rahimi! And it's in! It's in! In the last second, Alain complete the comeback!
Yes, drama already, and we're only 1 week into the brand new ADNOC Pro League season. Welcome everybody, welcome to Final Score, our first proper episode after we've now had a look at every team in the new season of the top division here in the UAE. The big teams, some of them made a big statement, some were disappointed, and the new teams coming up have maybe already had a very quick lesson about life in the top tier. We're going to go through every match, every goal, every talking point right here on Final Score, as we will every week throughout the season. And joining me in the studio tonight and every week throughout the season, we have the legend of UAE football, Ibrahim Diaki, and the walking encyclopedia of the game here in the Emirates, Pedro Correa. Let's just get your initial thoughts, Ibrahim. We wait so long over the summer to get to the first week of the league season. Sometimes it can be a bit nervous about, is it going to be as good as last season? We were not disappointed. It was some of the best football we've ever seen, and it's only week 1.
Yes, Graham, what a week. You know I love goals, so we saw many goals this week, and great performances from a couple of teams. And the surprise that Ajman did against Wahda. So we have plenty of things to talk about.
And there were a few surprises, but it's too early after week 1 to make any sort of judgments and predictions, isn't it?
Yes, Ibrahim stole one of my line. It was that surprise, but rightfully so. It was the highest goal-scoring match week, opening match week of the professional era, with 33 goals. Only 1 clean sheet, Jazira against Hatta, and mostly I will highlight as we go throughout the show the fact that even though we had some heavy defeats, those final scores don't tell the real story of each one of those matches, but we'll go deep into that later.
We certainly will, but let's start with Pedro's favourite bit, the stats. And it is only week 1, but we've got some really interesting numbers that have already come out just after the first week of the ADNOC Pro League. Pedro's predicted a few of them there already. 7 matches we've already seen in the first week, and we had 6 wins, 33 goals scored. That is a record in the ADNOC Pro League. 3 teams scored first and then ended up not winning the game, Kalba, Baniyas and Korfa Khan. Substitutes played a big part already, and they will continue to do so throughout the season. They scored and assisted in 20 goals. 10 of the goals were scored by substitutes. 7 goals were late ones as well after the 90th minute. Alain, perhaps not surprisingly, and we'll go into it when we get to their match, had the most possession, 72% in their match away at Baniyas. Al Jazira is the only team, as Pedro said, with a clean sheet in the first round. OK, so we have plenty to talk about, and we're going to delve into what those numbers mean. Here's a bit more about week 1 of the ADNOC Pro League. The first match week of the new ADNOC Pro League season did not disappoint. All 14 teams played their opening fixtures, and none of the games ended goalless. The season started in Dubai, where Al Nasr and Kalba drew 2-2. Kalba were 2 up after 20 minutes, thanks to early goals from Nemanja Jovic and Saman Ghoddos. But in the second half, the home side fought back with Abdoulaye Touré first, and then the equaliser from the spot from new signing Chris Bedia.
Let's see what he does. Takes a shot and perfectly in.
ADIB Cup holders Wahda will be disappointed not to get an opening day win. Lorenzi gave visitors Ajman the lead, and Santos scored 2 more. The second half goals from Gorbini and Diarra were too little, too late for Wahda. The big story of the summer was Golden Boot winner Kojo Laba switching from champions Al Ain to Sharjah. But he didn't get a debut goal as his new side beat Al Dafra 3-1. Agna, Julimar and Perrier were on target though, with Mendy getting a consolation goal for the home side. Promoted side United FC were brought down to earth very quickly by Al Wasl as they were beaten 5-1 in their first ever match in the top flight. Adil Al-Chadli got the only goal for Andrea Pirlo's side, but they had to watch as Al Wasl ran riot, including 2 goals for Serginho and 1 for captain Ali Saleh.
Have a chance here. It's Ali Saleh. He goes left, he goes right, he opens up his body and he scores! And the captain makes it 4-1.
It was the same scoreline between Khor Khan and last season's runners-up Shabab Al Ahli. Boa Morte put Khor Khan ahead in the first half, but that was the end of the home side's good news. Eza Talahi got 2, while Cesar, Azmoun and Riquelme added the other 3. Al Jazira are now led by the great Cosmin Olaru, the most decorated head coach in UAE football history. His new side beat Hatta 2-0, with both goals coming in the last few seconds of each half. And Simon Banza got the first, Ali Al-Mamadi got the second. And finally, the champions Al Ain had an opening day scare that showed their class by the end of their match away at Baniyas. Niakate scored 2 terrific goals for Baniyas in the first half, but Soufiane Rahimi reduced that deficit to 1 goal from the penalty spot just before half-time. After going all last league season unbeaten, Al Ain were determined to stretch that run to 34 matches, and it was Soufiane's brother El Hussein who came off the bench to score twice in the second half to make it 3-2. Before Kaka put the icing on their opening day cake for the champions with their 4th goal. Trying to cast my mind back to the opening days of previous seasons. They've always been good, but I can't remember one quite as good within such good play and good goals as we've seen, and good results as well, that all mean something. And let's start with the champions. It was our match of the week. We had full live coverage of Al Ain winning against Baniyas away at Baniyas, despite going 2 goals down, thanks to 2 terrific goals from Niakate. But it was all about Al Ain. The pressure was on them, as we said before kick-off, gentlemen. But they showed their class. They showed their championship status again already. And if anybody that we're going to talk about tonight has sent out a big message, surely Al Ain have sent the biggest.
One of the, at least, because we had other emphatic scores. But yes, one of the biggest in the way the game happened. It's one of the matches, no contest on my side about Alain's fairness in terms of winning the match. That's fair. The numbers, I think, are a little bit too heavy for Baniyas. The way Baniyas fought hard. Two key moments for me in the match. Alain reducing the disadvantage just before the break, and then the red card around minute 75. After that, also Baniyas crumbled a little bit in what was, until that moment, a great strategy that was paying off. And Alain, with all the quality they have, and also in this case the psychological, the mental strength they have, came back from a 2-0 disadvantage. And again, as I said before, a fair win for the reigning champions.
And I remember at half-time, Ibrahim, your only worry for Baniyas was the tiredness as they went into the second half, because they were so good in the first half, but they'd been pressing so high, the energy was sapping them in the heat as well, and it kind of went that way, didn't it? The only team, one of the teams you really don't want to get tired against is Alain.
Definitely. The way they started already the first half was really remarkable, and it looked like they gave everything in the first 45 minutes. But I think the assertiveness and the resilience of Alain made them win the game. They have the experience, and on top of that, the changes that the coach did in the second half, especially with the red card of Dekovic, it was much easier for Coach Ivic to make the changes to boost the offensive actions of Alain. And Rafael on the left wing, when he replaced Eric, he did some great crosses for the finishing. And I would like to talk about the goal of Hussein Rahimi. The pass that his brother did give to him, you need to have experience. Because, Graham, I know some people, they would have taken the shot.
Yeah.
But he was smart enough to give that pass to his brother. Or I don't think, even if it was another player, I'm sure Sufyan would have given that perfect pass. And I think overall, it was not an easy game for Alain, but assertiveness and resilience made the difference.
We'll talk a bit more about the Rahimi brothers in a second, but first, just it's worth reiterating as well, isn't it, Pedro? This was their 34th league match unbeaten, which stretches all the way through last season and into the season before that as well, which was a pressure that no other team had on them on the first day, those kind of stats.
It's a pressure for Alain. It's a great motivation for their opponents, not only to beat the reigning champions, but also to break the unbeaten record. Coming back to the match, I totally agree with Ibrahim. Rafa on the left, but also Jonatas on the right came on quite well, and brought a different dynamic to the flanks that Alain was clearly needing to stretch Baniyas' compact and well-organized defensive block. And last but not least, Hussein Rahimi, he's a great influence in the game. With the goals he scored, I think proved to be crucial coming on from the bench. But this is, and we had that graphic just moments ago. This is a lot what can happen, especially at this point in the season with the weather conditions. The players coming on from the bench can affect the matches quite a lot.
And Georgios, I would like to mention Georgios. Yeah, you can go.
So I was just going to point out, we've got a lovely Piero here about the number of passes. Again, we saw this all the way through last season. Alain are so patient, but when they see the pass that's going to make the difference, they're not afraid to take it.
Yeah, I spoke about it in the first half. I said the team that will have the better ball possession, they will be able to control the game. And Alain did it in the right way. But at the same time, Baniyas was really in good position. They were occupying the spaces in the right way. Tactically, in the first half, they were doing great. But as I say, Coach Ivic, he understood that it was very important for him to increase the intensity and the dynamic, to change the dynamic of the game to try to win. And he did that with the couple of changes that he did. As Pedro mentioned, Jonatas and Hazem, Rafael. And they really boosted the offensive action of Alain. And he needed that, because that Baniyas that I saw the first half, they were really coming to win that game. But Alain did very good.
And that goal was with like 10 minutes to go, and that is exactly what we said. In the first half, Baniyas weren't allowing that to happen, but you could just see that tiredness and fatigue was taken over, and Alain went up a gear.
But you see, in the first half, of course, Baniyas had a different availability physically and mostly mentally. And sometimes they would manage to counter-press quickly on Alain's build-up from the back and try to regain the ball, especially the three frontline players. And then, as the match was going on, of course, the fatigue levels started kicking in. Alain ended up having 72% of the possession, the highest possession in this first round. And it's also a clash of styles. It's pretty much this that is going to happen in a majority of the Alain's matches in the league. Alain mostly in the possession, building up, patiently trying to find a way to break into the last third. And the other team, most of the other teams, defending in a mid-low block, compact, deep, trying to also somehow soak up the pressure of Alain to find the space in the back of the defense. It will be a lot like this, I would say.
Ibrahim, you were about to start talking about George Giacomakis,
yes,
the new signing for Alain. Big role, big shoes he's got to fill, because of course he's replacing Kojo Laba, their top scorer for a number of previous seasons, including last season, who's moved over to Sharjah. So this was a big signing. We saw quite a lot of him. He had a goal that went in the back of the net. It was later disallowed, and he went off early in the second half as well. But what did you make of him in his first appearance for Alain?
I was impressed because it was his first game, first of all, and that action we saw when he scored and he got refused by the referee, I saw the quality there. And Alain is the type of striker they need. Very clinical finisher, and you can see sometimes he was coming also into the midfield to receive the ball, participate in the build-up, and then go back in front. Even defensively also, I saw some couple of action where he came to defend, and this is really a good impression already from my side. And but I want to come back on if you see that Alain was having 72% of ball possession, this is what I meant. In this weather, it's really hard. And I know I've started a couple of seasons like that. I know exactly that period, how we feel like. So the team that will keep the ball to try to make the opponent tired, of course, they will take definitely an advantage in the second half to win the game. And but Giacomakis, I'm really impressed already with the first game.
Okay, so we were impressed with Giacomakis, seeing him for the first time for Alain. How did the man himself feel? We caught up with him after the final whistle.
Giorgos, first of all, welcome to the UAE and Alain. First of all, a brilliant game, 3 points in the bag, nearly a debut goal.
Yeah, thank you very much for your kind words. I already feel welcomed from my teammates, my fans, the fans of Alain, and thank God we started with victory. It didn't come easy, I can tell. We scored a lot of goals, cancelled most of them, and eventually we turned around the situation, which was against us almost the whole game, and we took some very, very important points.
Now, you come to this league with a real wealth of experience, in particular, you know, your former days with Celtic. How do you compare your previous experience to what you played in tonight?
Oh, it's completely different. Every league has its own difficulties and specialities. It's another league, it's a new league for me. I need to adjust. First of all, the heat and, you know, like a little bit more or less the style of play. But I'm not worried about that. I have very good teammates, a very good manager, and the people around the club who are helping me very, very much.
And during the training camp, did you gel with the players? How are you finding the new environment?
Yeah, as I said, they were very helpful since day one. Since the day I arrived, I was kind of, it's too good to be true. Like, I've never been in an environment that I'm so welcomed from the first day. So I'm grateful for that. Of course, as I say, it's a new league for me. It's a new style of play, and I will need to learn also my teammates, learn the league a little bit more, the style. But I'm close. I'm very close to make it happen. Amy
Gillingham, of course, asking the questions there. Good to hear that from Giacomakis, saying how welcomed he feels at Al Ain. Hopefully he's going to have a great season with them. Big shoes, big boots to fill, though, as striker of Al Ain. But other players got the headlines from that game. It's the Rahimi brothers show. Pedro, it was El Hussein Rahimi. Soufiane got one goal, but then El Hussein, his younger brother, comes on the pitch. He was only on the pitch for 31 minutes. And we saw this quite a few times last season, made a huge difference to things, doesn't he?
Georgios Giacomakis was talking about adaptation period. El Hussein Rahimi is already adapted to the circumstances, both weather, teammates, everything, club, of course. And sometimes Diaki knows this quite well because he was a professional player. Sometimes when you come on later during the match, especially being a forward, the opposition is already tired. Mentally, physically, so sometimes it's better for you to come on from the bench later than to start the match. You will have eventually more opportunities. Of course, not taking any credit away from El Hussein Rahimi. He's a very good player, Alain, a very good striker for Alain, and he will compete for sure with Giacomakis for the position in the team.
Terrific. OK, so an opening day win for the reigning champions. Let's move on then to Hatta 0, Al Jazira 2. Hatta, one of the two promoted teams this season, starting off with a defeat to Al Jazira. And a lot of the noise around Al Jazira was, of course, about the arrival of Cosmin Olaru. Most recently, the UAE head coach. Before that, he's won titles with Al Ain, with Sharjah as well, the most decorated manager in UAE football. And that's what he wanted, isn't it, for the opening day, just to settle the nerves and for him to really see his side competing. Were you impressed with him?
I think in this particular match with Hatta, we saw a little bit already what we can expect from Jazira. The pragmatism of the team, a team that was not amazing in terms of the performance, was a professional win, let's say, and they scored the goal at the right moment because Hatta was defending it quite well. Okay, was closing the lines, was closing the opportunities to Jazira. Jazira managed to score in the dying minutes of the first half, and that psychologically, of course, turns things around a little bit. And then in the second half, they continued to maintain the possession, to defend well. Again, it was not an overwhelming performance by Jazira, but it was a professional one, enough to beat a team of Hatta that defensively, for most of the time, did quite well, but was very short in the offence.
And Simon Banza getting a goal as well, who was their new big signing midway through last season. So good to see him getting off the mark. Let's move on already. Corsican 1, Shabab Al Ahli 5, Ibrahim. Runners-up last season, Shabab Al Ahli. Bit of a frustrating season for them, really, overall last season, because they pushed Al Ain all the way, most of the way to the title until Al Ain kind of broke free. But this is a really good result for them because as well, it's a lot of their big goal scorers. Salah Azmoun got a goal, Cesar got a goal, Ezza Talahi got a couple of goals. So it's almost the perfect start for Shabab Al Ahli.
Yeah, Shabab Al Ahli against Corsican is almost the same scenario like Al Ain and Baniyas. Corsican started very well. Actually, I was kind of worried for Shabab Al Ahli when I saw the performance of Corsican in the first half. Great composure. Tactically, they were like in good position, and they started with a lot of focus and a lot of attacks, and they created a lot of chances also. But Shabab Al Ahli, I always say, if the referee didn't whistle, you never know. You cannot. You're not the winner. So they did a great game, and also tactically, the coach also did some couple of changes in the second half that boosted also the offensive line of Shabab Al Ahli, and that made the difference. A very tough team, and what I like is the team spirit about Shabab Al Ahli. They never give up. Till the last minute, they will give everything to try to win this game. And Ezatolai was really important in the midfield. He could make the right, put that balance into the midfield to make sure that Shabab Al Ahli can be stable and win the game.
And they, like Al Ain and Al Wasl, who we're about to talk about, also have Asian Champions League elite football this season. I think Alain's squad is really deep. We'll talk about Al Wasl in a second. Do you think Shabab Al Ahli have the deeper squad for the amount of football, top-level football they're going to play this season?
I think they do. I think they do. My main question mark was about Al Wasl, but we'll talk about that later. But I think both Alain and Shabab Al Ahli, they have.
Yeah.
And still the transfer window is open, so more adjustments can come in. Regarding this match, let me tell you that again, completely fair win for Shabab Al Ahli. A bit too heavy, I believe, on Horfakan, because especially first half until minute 60, 70, Horfakan did very well defensively.
Yeah.
Again, short on the offense, but we cannot forget the fact that Tarek Tissoudali was not available. So that cripples a lot Horfakan's offensive chances. Not taking any credit away from Shabab Al Ahli. Again, very professional. A very solid performance, because even though they were 1-0 down for quite a long period, they managed to keep the composure, to play their game, to be patient, and eventually when they broke in, they started scoring. But again, as I said in the beginning of the show, this is another one that I think it's a bit too heavy on the losing side. Even though completely fair, the win for Shabab Al Ahli.
We talked about Al Wasl. Let's move on to them then. Shabab Al Ahli got a 5-1 win. It was the same scoreline for their near neighbours in Dubai, Al Wasl, who took on United FC, their first ever game in the ADNOC Pro League, head coached, of course, by Italian legend Andrea Pirlo. So there was a lot of firsts going on in that game, and I think this is quite similar to the Shabab Al Ahli one. The score perhaps makes United FC look less competent than they were on the night. It's perhaps a bit unfair, the scoreline on United FC by the end.
In my opinion, yes. Fair win for Al Wasl, no questions about that. United FC with a very good first half, very organized, very compact, with a very clear idea of what they wanted from the match. They were down very early. Al Wasl scored in the first few minutes, I think minute third or something. Yes, third minute, Renato Junior broke the deadlock. So this for a new team like United, coming in fresh to the ADNOC Pro League, playing at Zabil against a traditional title contender like Al Wasl. Can it get any worse than this, conceding in the first few minutes? No, they kept their composure, they kept playing their game, what apparently was their playing strategy for the match, and they did very well until around the hour mark again. Then in the hour mark, when they conceded the second, and it was an own goal, after that they kind of crumbled. Pirlo tried to go for the equalizer, and rightfully so. But Al Wasl, with the quality they have, managed to turn the game completely around and to win emphatically. Again, I think it's too heavy on United. An interesting fact about this match for me was the starting 11 of Al Wasl. Because Al Wasl left out, and I even wrote it down, Serginho, who came on and then scored the brace, Fabio Lima, Sazevkovic, Renato Tapia, Miguel Borja, and also Saldanha. So you were asking before about squad depth. This might mean that the coach really trusts everyone, because he left all these great players on the bench and play other players from the start, and things worked out for Al Wasl.
Speaking of the coach, Rui Vitória is, of course, Portuguese, so I'm going to ask Ibrahim about his tactics. And we've got some examples here of him. They're very high pressure on the ball. That's clearly Rui Vitória's instruction. As we've seen before, it is like energy sapping, so you have to be very fit. But that is clearly how he wants to play the game. He wants to keep Al Wasl high up on the pitch and don't let any of the opposition have any time on the ball.
Yes, Graham, if you see the statistic, 51.5 ball possession for Al Wasl and 48.5 for United. That means the game was really close. But tactically, what the coach did there, it was really smart. First of all, as Pedro mentioned, the lineup that he put there, he knew that the players that are there can make the difference. And they did it really in a good way. Very focused, started with high intensity. Look at on that action. The way out, that's the right back, Pedro, sprinting a couple of times, and he was making really the difference on the right side. And in the midfield also, the way how they were defending. And the quick transition also, it was well done. When they lose the ball, directly they put that pressure or they come back in position to make sure that, to try to close the space as much as possible. And I think that performance there was really incredible, and they really did good.
Okay. Pedro, who is Portuguese also, by the way, had 2 assists in the game. I just wanted to add
just got to get that
in case anyone misses that.
I feel bad for bypassing you. Okay, let's move on then. If there is one of the big teams, so-called big teams in the ADNOC Pro League that didn't get a positive result, getting any points out of the first round, it's Al Wahda. They'll be disappointed at home as well, beaten by Ajman, a great Ajman team with a great manager, but nevertheless Al Wahda will be really disappointed, Pedro, that Ajman have beaten them 3-2.
For whomever did not watch the match, this is a typical clash of styles. Al Wahda extremely possession-based, but finding it hard to get into the last third, even though they have that firepower up front, Omar Harbin and Benteke in this match. So lots of possession, but not too much into the last third. And Ajman waiting for the break, defending in a mid-low block. This is typical Goran Tufegic playbook. Defending deep, defending compact, breaking on the counter, and being very efficient also. Efficiency was on the Ajman side. Al Wahda will have to do much better in terms of their offensive capacity, in terms of getting more into the last third, which they did better in the second half, but the first half was more on Ajman. And Ajman took the very few chances they managed to create. They were very efficient and they scored 3 goals.
And Coach Goran was in El Wahda before.
Yes.
Coach, so he kind of knows a bit the house. So I think maybe that made it easier for him to put the right tactics.
Also with the tactics for Goran, we're going to look at Yassine Jabri for Ajman. And most people think he's kind of a striker or an up-front, a positive player leading the front. But he was actually playing almost as a left back, kind of in defence.
He is.
And he pushed forwards and assisted with a goal. And
that's
caught Al Wahda by surprise.
That's not his original position.
Yeah.
You're completely right. He played as a left back in this match, but that is not his original position. He's an offensive player, so he played as a very offensive left back. And I think also Wahda got a little bit lost in dealing with him. Look at the way he goes all the way down the left flank.
That's not a defender moving forward, is it?
On top of all that, and even though Victor Henrique, the Ajman striker, was considered the man of the match, he scored a brace, of course, and that Ajman was missing Walid Azaro, which again for them, like Tarek Tissoudali for Horfagan, is a huge absence. And they did what they did. But yes, in terms of Youssef on the left, it was that was a surprise, but was a good surprise. This man, he has so many years in the ADNOC Pro League and so much experience that Ajman can benefit from to get these types of points on the road.
But you can see the amount of confidence Ajman used in that game. We saw already on the ball possession how they came out very fast, with maybe 5-6 passes. That's really impressive, because you play against El Wahda with type of player that they have, Krebin and all this. It was really, really great performance from Ajman. Great ball possession. Look at the confidence, the movement, and it's really well done. They move in the right time, the right space, and you need a lot of confidence to have that great ball possession. And they went there very confident, and they made a difference.
And that comes from Goran Tufegic, the boss, doesn't it? It comes down from him.
A lot. If you notice the statistics we've just shown, they had 6 shots on target out of 11 shots in total, and they scored 3 goals out of 6 shots on target. So 50% of accuracy in terms of the goals.
And Walid Azaro was not there.
And Walid Azaro was not there. So it's a great performance by Ajman. Al Wahda must and they will do better, but all congratulations, Mabruk to Ajman.
Okay, let's move on then to Sharjah's win away at Al Dhafra. All eyes, of course, were on Kojo Laba, switching from Al Ain to Sharjah, getting our first look at him in a different shirt. It took a few minutes to get used to him in a different shirt. He didn't score on the night, as it turned out, but Sharjah, that's a good win for them. They have designs on the title this season, don't they?
And they have reasons for that.
Yeah.
This was a very good match. Also a little bit too heavy on Ndafra. Not, again, against the fairness of Sharjah's win, but a bit too heavy on Dafra. Dafra played a very good match, and I think they can have a much better season than the last one in terms of their performance in the league. But yes, this Sharjah apparently improved quite a lot and has even potential to do better. A good match by Sharjah, very solid, very competent, and beating an Al Dafra team that playing at Madinat Zayed at this time of the year. It's I know it's just 3 points for Sharjah, but I would say psychologically, even the way they played and the way also Dafra played against them, I think for Sharjah is a very good win mentally, also psychologically.
And also looking at Sharjah, it's interesting. Last season they won the Super Cup at the beginning of the season, but that was kind of the end of the good news for Sharjah after that. And Jose Moraes, Portuguese manager, got them out of trouble. They were languishing near the bottom. So it's great they've stuck with Jose Moraes over the summer and given him now, hopefully, a good run-in for this season. And we're already seeing it with, like, through passes from the back. That was one of the keys to Sharjah's win.
You can see from this game, Sharjah prepared really well for this season. And we can see a transition into the team. And before, we were complaining about the way how they were defending. So I can see that there is a big improvement because Dafra is the type of team that they don't hold back. They attack always, but I can see that defensively, Sharjah was really ready. Not only the defensive line, but the midfielders also and the strikers. They were always coming back in block and try to defend together. And then when they received the ball, the counter was really fast. You could see on the third goal there. And the second goal, it was a really amazing performance from Sharjah. I think Moraes definitely saw the negative side of Sharjah from last season.
Yeah.
But definitely this season, we can see a slight difference.
Yeah, certainly was. OK, lastly then, Al Nassr 2, Kalba 2. This was definitely a game of two halves. Kalba scored the 2 goals in the first half, and Al Nassr, to their credit, came back. Milos Milojevic is their new head coach, former Wasl boss, of course, who won the title with Al Wasl. Now he's at Al Nassr, and they've spent a lot of money in the transfer window. Well, not money, but they've got a lot of new talent in, so they've really tried to reconfigure things. And he'll be delighted to have come back from 2 goals down to get a point.
Yes, he will. I was there on commentary duty, and 20 minutes, Kalba was 2-0 up. Yeah. So Al Nassr was, I believe, my point of view, and I said it during commentary, Al Nassr was shocked. Was like, because even they had a chance in the meantime, Mehdi Gaidi took a shot, bounced off the bar, and Al Nassr was in control of the game in terms of possession. But Kalba suddenly, within 20 minutes, was 2-0 up. And rightfully so, because Kalba played a very good match in the first half. Then again, as the energy levels were decreasing, they started to make mistakes and they started to struggle clearly physically. They were also missing some players. In the end, I would say it's a fair draw, even though Al Nassr eventually could have even done better. There's lots of room for improvement on the Al Nassr side, but I think they have the potential to do that. I think they can have a good season and be more competitive in terms of the title.
The important thing in that game was the reaction of Al Nassr after the 2-0, because it was not easy. Playing at home and receiving 2 goals in the first half is really difficult, and they really showed character. I think that's what helped them to come back 2-2.
OK, let's quickly look at our first team of the week for the season, the players that we think have made the most impact over the week. We've talked about a lot of them. Is there anyone there that we haven't really picked out? We don't have much time, but we've talked about Rahimi, of course, quite a lot. Is there anybody else there that we haven't really had time to mention that you're impressed with?
Number 7, Saman Godos from Kalba. Played an amazing match, and he's a great player Kalba has there. A great midfielder, box to box, all over the place, defends well, helps in the attacking operations. For me, it's the highlight there.
Ibrahim, anybody there that jumps out?
Definitely Said Zatulai. Great performance, and he scored, I think, 2 goals. or one. He was really amazing in the midfield there. He could make sure that Shabab Al Ahli could have that balance. And I would like to add maybe Ali Salah.
Yeah.
What a magnificent goal he scored against United last time. Really amazing.
Yeah, great captain Ali Salah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look ahead then to week 2 of the ADNOC Pro League season. We've got about 4 weeks in a row of actions, quite unusual for the beginning of the season. But let's take a look at what's coming up. On Friday, Al Wasl have the chance to add to their 5 goals they've already scored. They are away at Kalba, though. That will be tricky. And then in the evening on Friday, Al Nasr looking for their first win of the season. And it's the same story for Al Wahda. They kick off at 8:35 on Friday evening. Moving on to Saturday, 3 games. Hatta are on the road at Ajman at 6 o'clock. At the same time, Shabab Al Ahli are at home against Al Dafra, and the evening game is the champions Al Ain, looking to make it 35 games unbeaten. They are at home against Corfa-Can. And then we finish off on Sunday. United FC play their second ever game in the top flight away in Abu Dhabi against Baniyas. And then in the evening, it's all about Cosmin Alaru, now manager of Al Jazira, faces his old side Sharjah. That kicks off at 8:35 on Sunday. Lots to look forward to. Thank you as always, Ibrahim. Thank you, Pedro.
Thank you.
And thank you, of course, to you for watching as well. The brand new season is up and running, but it's same old, same old. Just no one can beat Al Ain. Good night.